The end of PTCGO is upon us. They stopped releasing new cards into the game at the beginning of March, and the new Scarlet and Violet cards won't be coming to PTCGO, nor will Rotation be coming to PTCGO. If you want that, you're going to have to play PTCG Live. Now, if you have not migrated yet, make sure to do at least this one thing before you go. I'm Jet from inthirdperson.com. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's talk about this one tidbit. I guess two tidbits, but really, I'll just turn off my camera here. So in the corner, at the top right corner, we've got coins here. I've got 165 tokens. I actually had maxed it out and had pretty much 25,000 coins. And what's important there is that you use these to buy packs. And one of the requirements, let me turn my face back on here. One of the things, that's the wrong camera. One of the things about migrating from PTCGO to PTCG Live is that unopened packs from Black and White onwards get converted into in-game gems, and in-game gems can be used to purchase like booster packs or pre-made decks like league battle decks and stuff like that. So really good credit to have going into the PTCG Live. And so you want to have at least, up to a maximum of 125 packs. You don't want to go more than 125 because the game doesn't give you any further credit. So have 125 packs handy. If you haven't spent all your tokens yet, and you don't have packs on hand, yeah, you can use your coins to get yourself to 125. I should turn my face off again one more time. You can also use your tournament tickets. So just beside, I don't know why my my cursor disappeared here. Your tournament tickets. Make sure to play in tournaments. Try and get earn as many packs as you can, whether it's just to open those packs or to have them in your inventory to get to that magic number of 125. I have just spent my coins on pretty much a number of packs that are all going to survive rotation. And then the tournament tickets, personally, like, I just don't think I'm going to have the time to play enough games to, use the tournament tickets because I'm hardly down here anymore. Being a new dad and stuff, it's hard to set up in the basement. But anyhow, so yeah, just the pro tips. Make sure you got yourself at least 100 or up to 125 packs to be converted into credits. I bought codes off of Potown Store a long time ago, so I've been sitting on this stack of Vivid Voltage because those were the cheapest codes at the time. You can do it that way too. Just buy a bunch of codes and then use your in-game credits to buy newer sets. So I instead just used my coins to get a whole bunch of packs from all the sets surviving rotation, all the main sets. So you've got Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin, and Silver Tempest. And I thought we'd crack some packs, talk about my history with these cards. Hopefully we pull some good stuff, and let's go. And this is actually like a really nice time frame for me because I started playing at the very end of Battle Styles at the beginning of Chilling Reign. So these are all cards that I am pretty familiar with. And first pack, ooh, we got a Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, one of the strongest cards ever in the Sword and Shield era. Gale Thrust, 30 damage, but it does 120 more damage if you move it from the bench to the active. So for only one energy, you could be doing 150 damage. Incredibly efficient. And then G-Max Rapid Flow for 2 fighting and a colorless does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. This deck it's been up and down. There are times when it is the best deck in the game. There are times when it is unplayable. Post-rotation, it seems like this is going to make a bit of a comeback with Inteleon VMAX. I'm kind of looking forward to it because the Rapid Strike Urshifu deck with Melanie, one of the original variations of that deck, is one of my all-time favorites to play, and it's such a cool deck and such a cool card. But it's just been really tough to play with Mew VMAX, and there's just been all sorts of challenges in the field, but hopefully this card makes a comeback. Really good start. Okay, good start. I mean, I already have too many Urshifus, so we'll have to trade that away. Or, oh, we got a Salazzle. This card has the move Derisive Roasting, does 90 damage for each special condition affecting your opponent's active Pokemon. You would combine this with a Butterfree from another set that gives you like Burn, Poison, and Confusion, and then this thing hits for 270 damage. Put a Choice Belt on there, it's hitting for 300. It's kind of a meme deck. It was kind of nuts though. I haven't seen it in a long time though. I think Sableye kind of destroyed all these like single prize decks that with low HP. Ooh, we did get a... Oh, we got a Houndoom. It's surprising I don't have a... I know I have a full set. I just have like different arts. That's fine. And then we did get some really good cards here. Single Strike Mustard, a staple in the Arceus Duraludon deck. Once your hand is empty, you can play Single Strike Mustard if it's your last card, and then just bench a VMAX. Any single strike card, and usually it was single strike Duraludon VMAX. Cheryl was a go-to healing card for many decks, and then one of the most annoying cards in the entire Sword and Shield era, Durant. It was the go-to mill deck. All right. Are you excited for the transition to PTCG Live? Personally, I am not. I'm really disappointed in the Pokemon Company for having players moving over to PTCG Live when it's not as good as PTCGO. We did get a Stonjourner, and this card's actually going to be a factor post rotation. This card with its Giga Hammer move, 120 damage. This is going to hit stuff like Miraidon EX for weakness and one-shot it, and the single strike build of Lugia V-Star is seemingly the way to go post-rotation, and this card is a staple in that build. Yeah, I'm not entirely against the idea of moving away from PTCGO. I think that the trading system in this game is absolutely abysmal, and it's a big reason why the majority of people who play PTCGO are playing in theme decks. And you can look at the leaderboards to confirm this. Most people here just play theme decks because it's really hard to get the good cards, and you have to be willing to buy codes or go through the crazy rigmarole of trading, and like it's such a pain. It's like the highest barrier to get good cards of any TCG, like digital TCG. And I hate it. Absolutely hate it. I still engage with it because I love this game, but most people aren't willing to do that. And I'm glad that PTCG Live is moving to a more commonplace, like dusting, crafting system. Though, oh, we did get the Urshifu V. This is actually not that bad as well. 100 Furious Blows for 2 fighting and a colorless, not bad. And then Strafe is an okay turn 1 going second attack. Yeah, so I think that the ideal goal is for PTCG Live to have a... Ooh, Rainbow Karina's Focus. Very nice. Rapid Strike staple lets you draw until you have 6 cards. This is going to see a little more play in that Inteleon deck I was mentioning earlier. Got some pretty good pulls here. So yeah, I think that if they can rebalance the economy in PTCG Live in a way that isn't as punishing to players who want to go free to play, that would be great. But even for those willing to pay, like it's still super confusing and kind of busted, where the best way to get more credits in the game is to keep buying celebrations packs over and over again, or keep buying league battle decks over and over again. Another Urshifu. That's cool. So it's just kind of silly on that front. I feel like they did not put in enough time to think through the in-game economy. All right, an Octillery. This is a staple of the Rapid Strike decks. Lets you search for a Rapid Strike card from your deck and put it into your hand. Amazing card. And is there anything else worth noting here? I don't think so. I think we are done with... Well, Bruno was okay. Lets you draw up to 7 if a Pokemon was knocked out. Single prize decks definitely use this from time to time. And we can move over to Chilling Reign. So yeah, I do hope that PTCG Live is eventually updated to be better than PTCGO. I'm just disappointed that it's not there right now, and they are shutting this game down in the process. And that's not, yeah, we haven't even, I've only talked about like the economy. Like there's still issues with gameplay and bugs and game speed and all that stuff. Anyway, let's go back to the cards. We did get a big, this is going to be a definitive card in the Sword and Shield era, Path to the Peak, shutting off rule boxes. And a big thing about this card is that up until this point, any sort of cards that shut off abilities or impact subsets of cards, they usually explicitly state, you know, Pokemon V, Pokemon GX, Pokemon EX. And this is the first one off the top of my head that specifically states with a rule box. So anything like a Pokemon V or a GX or the new EXs will be impacted by this card. And this is kind of the first time they made a card that works retroactively and future-proofed it by having that term rule box in it. And yeah, this is a incredibly powerful card that will probably be a staple till it rotates out. Oh snap, this rotates next year. That's crazy. I wonder if they replace, I feel like, you know, as annoying as that card can be at times. Ooh, Metagross. I've been wanting to play some Metagross. I know like it's long since become it's not really meta relevant anymore, but I've always been short on Metagross cards and would like to play the Metagross VMAX deck someday. We were talking about, oh damn, I don't even remember what we were talking about. It was the economy, it was gameplay, PTCG Live versus PTCGO. I cannot remember. Okay, we got a Volcanion V. This is one of the first Pokemon V cards I ever pulled in like buying real life packs, and I was like, oh man, this seems so cool. And I guess it could work a little better now that Magma Basin's out, but if this Pokemon has 10 or more damage counters on it, this attack does 150 more damage. Like 10 or more, that's like 100 damage. And that's already halfway dead. And there's a lot of decks that can just one-hit KO this. So this is kind of unplayable at the moment. All right. How about... Oh, Sandaconda V Max. I didn't have this one. So 320 HP, 3 retreat, that's really high. Sand Pulse, 1 fighting, does 60 damage and 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. All right, a little bit of bench damage there. And then G-Max Cyclone for 2 fighting and a colorless, 180 damage, and move any amount of energy from your Pokemon to your opponent to your other Pokemon in any way you like. Yeah, no. I think this saw a little bit of play, like when Arceus first hit. I feel like there was a deck that used that Sandaconda card, but hasn't really seen much play. All right, nothing much to talk about in that particular set. What else are we gonna get here? Clara is an amazing card, and there is a new like premium tournament collection with Clara that has a unique full art to it. Really good card. Lets you take up to 2 Pokemon from your discard pile, put it back into your hand, and or up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. Really good recovery card for decks that need that type of recovery. Yeah, around the time, like my origin story is I started playing the Pokemon trading card game in the summer of, I guess this would be 2021. Yeah, at the end of Battle Styles, beginning of Chilling Reign, I'd been around the Pokemon trading card game. Like, you know, it's been around for decades, and growing up, I didn't really get into Pokemon in any sort until adulthood. And so this kind of passed me by, and it wasn't until, yeah, 2021, I love board games. I like Pokemon in other forms. My wife and I were watching a Try Guys video about Pokemon cards, and then we were just like, you know what? How about we just try the game? And we went and bought the Venusaur versus Blastoise bundle, and I ended up falling in love with the game. And from there, the rest is kind of history. Not long after that, I started playing PTCGO, and that is where I play the game primarily. I do have IRL decks, and I want to play in official tournaments. I get that question all the time on YouTube and Twitch of like, when are you going to play in a tournament? I was planning last year on going to the regionals in my area, and unfortunately got sidetracked by baby shower stuff, like my wife and I's baby shower. So that didn't end up happening, but maybe this year we'll have an opportunity. We'll see. We'll see. And I guess I could go to like locals and stuff too, but again, being a new parent is really hard. Just getting the time to make these videos is very difficult. I am running on very little sleep at the moment. At the time right now, our sleeping arrangement is such where I wake up at 3:30 in the morning to take care of babies, like feeding and diaper changes and stuff. And now my wife's got him, and usually I'm back in bed to recover, but right now I'm doing this video. Anyhow, card we should talk about here, Galarian Articuno with Cruel Charge. When you bench this, you get to attach up to 2 Psychic Energy. This is a great card in the Shadow Rider Calyrex deck, and it looks like Shadow Rider Calyrex is making a little bit of a comeback here post-rotation. Really excited to see where that goes. Shadow Rider Calyrex is a lot of fun to play, and it's been when it first came out, it was the deck to play, and then it wasn't, and that kind of sucked. But now it's kind of making a comeback here, just with the way the meta's shifting and stuff. So that's cool. It happens. Here's Flaffy, one of my all-time favorite cards. I've got the trainer gallery version of this card. One of my all-time favorites. Dynamotor decks are probably my favorite deck to play. I think I have such good memories of playing Pikachu VMAX, Raikou, Raichu, and Flaffy box decks. And with Miraidon coming soon, it looks like Flaffy's gonna go out on a bang here at the end, being able to attach a lightning energy from your discard to one of your bench Pokemon. Amazing energy acceleration for lightning decks. Actually, it's just bench Pokemon, so it's not even. Also, we're opening Evolving Skies packs. From a collector's perspective, this is the big set. However, from a gameplay perspective, it was really big at the time, but it's not so much now because a lot of the ultra rare cards just have not aged well in a world where we now play V-Star Pokemon and they drop only 2 prizes. We do have Pumpkaboo. This is a staple card in certain decks to bump stadiums out of play, in particular Path to the Peak. I saw there was a Raihan card. I should have brought that up here as well. I'm not trying to break the flow of conversation, though. All right, Boushake is a card that has started to see a little more play in recent times, as Eternatus and Galarian Weezing have been making a final tournament push before they rotate out. And I think most recently, I think it was at Charlotte, where Weezing Eternatus won the whole thing, and Boushake is a part of that. Turn 1, play Boushake, evolve the Galarian Weezing, and just say, no, you don't get your abilities, period. Crazy strong card, but pretty much only in that deck. Galarian Weezing's like the only deck that really used that, and it's kind of busted when it works. All right, we're admittedly not pulling, like, from a collector's perspective, there's a lot of amazing cards in Evolving Skies, and that's why if you try and buy these packs IRL, they are so expensive. But they're also really hard to pull the good cards, like the Umbreons and stuff like that. I do have the Alt Art Umbreon in PTCGO, but I don't have it in real life. Hey, we got a Duraludon. I know most people are just playing the metal one right now, but post-rotation, it's got to be this one, Arc Duraludon. I think it's going to be a little weaker going forward, but I've been playing with this one the whole time because I never got Champion's Path Duraludon, and I never traded for it because I always felt it was too expensive, especially when I had this Duraludon, and I always felt like if you were in a position where you were getting hit, your Duraludon V was getting hit, you were probably screwed anyway, regardless of, you know, yes, the metal one does take a little less damage, but you were kind of screwed either way, so I didn't really bother, and I had great success with it regardless. All right, Crystal Cave, really handy. Flapple, this is a card that pretty much only got use in the Zoroark box deck because of its acidic mucus attack. 50 damage for each of your opponent's Pokemon play that has an ability. Has the potential to hit incredibly hard. Yeah, Duraludon V is nice. Would like to see... Oh, Leafeon V Max. I I'm weirded out. Oh, because one of mine is an alt art. I forgot about that. Yeah, Leafeon V. This was one of my favorite decks from Evolving Skies because it has the attack Grass Knot, which does 60 damage for each of the retreat costs in your opponent's active, or your opponent's retreat cost in the active, and you'd combo this with Galor Mine and Shady Dealings, and it was one of the most consistent decks I have ever played, and this was so fun to play. And it makes me sad that Leafeon VMAX isn't in the meta right now. That might change now that Spidops EX increases a retreat cost. Galor Mine goes away, but Spidops comes in. There's a Fire Stadium that increases retreat cost as well, so maybe we see one last kick at the can with Leafeon. I would love that. I personally would love that. All right, and a Volcarona V. This is a card that we saw in the meme Kyogre deck, where you're flying through energy to bench snipe, and then you put Volcarona in at the end as your late game attacker to then put all that energy back into the deck and just hit for 1 billion damage. I believe this card is also a staple, like one of the best decks in Expanded. So yeah, decent pull here. I don't play Expanded at all, but yeah, Volcarona kind of nuts in that mode from what I've heard. This is the first time, yeah, speaking of the discussion about standard versus expanded, this Regidrago card, sometimes it gets played in the current Regigigas deck. Before that, this was actually its own deck, and I hated playing this deck. For 2 grass and a fire energy, does 240 damage, and this attack does 20 less damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So if you could get the first hit on the Regidrago, it was great. And if you could accelerate this, it hits so hard. Absolutely crazy. What was I going to say? Oh, it was about Evolving Skies. Damn it, I totally lost my train of thought. Oh well, Fusion Strike. This is a set that, it's the biggest Pokemon TCG set ever, and it is a very top-heavy set. You're pretty much looking for only a handful of cards, and they're really hard to pull because just by sheer volume of cards in the set. Latios, no. Yeah, you're looking for Mew, Genesect, the Alt-Art Gengar, stuff like that. I'll let you know Judge is in Fusion Strike, which is going to be the... Hey! Oh, it's the wrong Tyranitar. I was going to say, Tyranitar V does become a factor post-rotation, but this is the bad one. This is one that was originally in the Japanese version of Battle Academy. So, yeah, 3 dark and 1 colorless for 150 damage is absolutely miserable. Judge is going to be the go-to Marnie replacement until Yono comes out and Paldea Evolved, at which point I think people will just move on. Though I think, yeah, that's probably it, because there is no... People are playing Judge mostly to get around Oranguru, and Oranguru is not going to be a thing post-rotation. And people aren't going to play like Switching Cups for that same sort of effect, so I think that just Yono becomes the replacement to Judge, full stop. All right, we also have... No, these are all... Nothing really to talk about here. Yeah, I think Battle Styles actually kind of came through the best for us so far. Sure, Leafeon VMAX is great, but yeah, the Urshifus were... Yeah, those are really good. And yeah, Leafeon was one of my favorite decks of all time. I should do a video on that, of just like my favorite Sword and Shield era decks. I think Leafeon would be on there. Dragapult would be on there. Ooh, Cinderace. We have too many of these now, and Cinderace is not good. But sure. I will say another thing, if you can, try and trade away all of your... Anything you have more than 4 of a kind of, try and trade those away to get other cards that you don't already have, so that you can go into the new game with 4 of a kind, and then of as many cards as you can. So when you open these packs, you will just get credit for the cards instead. Okay, down to our last few Fusion Strike packs. We do get Battle VIP pack. Ooh, yes. All right, so Battle VIP Pass, a staple card in many decks. Only works on the first turn, but if you do, you get to bench 2 basic Pokemon, and that pairs incredibly well with Genesect V, one of the most busted cards of all time, with the ability Fusion Strike system. Once during a turn, you may draw cards until you have as many cards in your hand as you have Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. It is the backbone of the Mew VMAX deck, helping you just draw through your deck like crazy. Now, there are some big challenges to Genesect coming post-rotation, including Klefki that turns off abilities, the new Spiritomb that turns off abilities, Ting Lu is turns off abilities on Pokemon that have damage counters on them. You pair that with the Hawlucha that does bench damage, and Genesect get pinged and then shut off its ability. I do have some concerns about whether Mew can survive this next wave of Mew hate cards, but I mean, the Pokemon Company have been releasing Mew hate cards for a year now, from Mightyena to Drapion, and Mew somehow survives all of it. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Okay, we've got one more locked pack after this. I'm going to keep the unlocked pack open just in case I need to trade it for something here. We do get a Serena V. This is my first one. I have a couple of these IRL, but in the game, this is my first one. Move Queen's Orders, 1 grass and a colorless, does 20 damage, and you can discard any number of your bench Pokemon. This attack does 40 more damage for each bench Pokemon you discarded this way. This is a card that saw no play in Standard, but I've heard it's actually pretty good and expanded. I think you pair it with, I don't remember the exact combination. I think you pair it with the stadium that lets you bench 8 Pokemon, and then you just you yeet a whole bunch of Pokemon that way. All right, and we got one more Fusion Strike pack. Let's see, pulling a Genesect's nice. We already had 4 of a kind of those, so unfortunately we can't trade that for anything. Did get the Latias as well. All right, moving on to 2022. We've got Brilliant Stars, looking for some Arceus cards here. Charizard's kind of fun. I actually think Charizard V-Star is okay, but hasn't really seen any competitive play. This Torterra deck is one I've wanted to play for some time. Maybe it sees some play post-rotation. I don't know. I should have focused on the Torterra since we were talking about it. It was a single prize deck that saw a little bit of play. We did get Magma Basin here, which is a staple of fire decks, and it's the primary way that fire decks accelerate. You put an energy in the discard pile, and then Magma Basin can attach it to one on the bench, and then you take 2 damage. And then there are, like, Charizard V-Star actually does more damage when it has damage on it, as well as there's a Moltres from Brilliant Stars that does more damage when it takes damage from attacks or stuff like Magma Basin, so that's good. And we also got a Dracovish V, which is an absolutely horrible card. Grass and Water, Slosh and Crash for 60 damage, and before doing damage, discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active Pokemon. If you discarded a Pokemon tool in this way, this attack does 120 more damage, so it can do up to 180 for 2. That's not bad. And then Dragon Strike for 210. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use Dragon Strike. Slosh and Crash is way too specific, and 180 damage not good enough, especially in these times. I've literally never seen anyone play this card. I mean, there are tools like Forest Seal Stone and stuff. Maybe there's value in that. There's the Moltres I was talking about. And this Lapras saw like a little bit of play in Frostmoth single prize decks. This is the one that does paralysis. Yeah, a little bit of play, but not really. Ultra Ball, the return of Ultra Ball, that's been a great card to have, just having an option to grab any Pokemon. Though you have to discard 2, but there's synergy in that as well. We do get a Dusk Noir and Raikou V. I love me some Raikou V. And I am glad that it's kind of having a moment right now where it is just a really solid single prize attacker that also hits Lugia for weakness and hits Palkia for weakness. And yeah, this gets one-shotted a bunch, but as a tech card, it's pretty sick. And I've had decks that focused on like Raichu as the deck itself, and it's still one of my favorite decks to play. But yeah, 200 HP is really low, and you have to go in knowing you're going to get one-shotted. Sharon's Care is a go-to card for colorless Pokemon, particularly Arceus V-Star, and you just put one of your colorless Pokemon that has any damage counters on it and all attached cards into your hand. I believe the new Penny card does that for all Pokemon, but they have to be basic. So, yeah, another option for that. I think that's actually really handy. I haven't really seen many post-rotation lists use Penny, but it is something to keep in mind if you want to get rid of something like a Squawkabilly off your bench going forward. Ooh, some double turbo energy. What? Oh, it's my first reverse holo double turbo energy. Okay. Yeah, Choice Belt, of course, signature card, getting to do an extra 30 damage on Pokemon V. Pretty much a 2 of at least in every deck. Double turbo energy, a great addition to the format. Arceus V-Star's favorite card, of course. And then this Luxray was not bad, with Energy Crush doing 50 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Towards the last year, with Arceus decks in particular, and Lugia, we started to see a lot of decks just flood the board with energy, and Luxray could really punish that. Unfortunately, it's a Stage 2 deck, and therefore really clunky to set up. All right, we also get nothing here. All right, and we got the Lucario. This is one of my... I do like this card. Roaring Resolve. Once during a turn, you may put 2 damage counters on this Pokemon, and if you do, search your deck for a fighting energy and attach it to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck, and then Aura Sphere Volley does 10 damage plus discard all the energy. This attack does 60 more damage for each card you discarded this way. It is a potentially heavy-hitting attack, and if you can get the chain going of evolving Lucarios and having the energy flowing, this deck can hit really hard. It's a ton of fun to play. Probably a little too clunky in the current meta, and I don't think that changes because Sableye can destroy the Riolus no problem. And it's unfortunate, but it is a fun deck to play. Collapse Stadium, reducing benches down to 4. Very big card in the 2022 meta, especially with Regigigas and trying to slow that deck down. Kind of hurts Mew as well. Kind of hurts Lugia as well. Anything that needs a wide bench. Hurts Eternatus as well. Jeez, we having to worry about Eternatus in 2023. That said, yeah, the Eternatus era is pretty much over at this point. Eternatus, one of my favorite decks as well. And we got Manaphy, a massive card. Wave Veil protects all damage, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon by attacks from your opponents, like prevent bench damage, right? We saw a card like this pre-rotation, Bench Barrier Mew, but there were a couple of months where there was no bench protection, and cards like Jolteon VMAX and Urshifu VMAX were dominating the format because they could just snipe freely. It was crazy, and Manaphy really changed that. All right, Wormadam. Nope, don't care. Okay, a Simisear V. We do have a Simisear V-Star now in Crown Zenith, so I guess you could use it, but the Simisear V is not good, and nor is the V-Star. Not really worth it, but sure. Can't complain too much when we do get a Pokemon V. Here we go. Oh, Kling Klang, no. Yeah, I guess I can trade locked packs or locked cards. Can I? No, you cannot. Even if you... Yeah. We've pulled this Dusk Noir special transfer card a whole bunch in this set. Not a fan. Not a fan. It doesn't really... It moves special energy between one Pokemon to another. So it's something you can combo into something like Blissey. But never really saw any play. Another Ultra Ball, that's nice, and a Flygon. We have too many of those. All right, moving on to Astral Radiance. Really good set here. You're getting your Palkias, your Dialgas, Irida in this set. Mightyena, lots of good cards. Switch Cart, Trainer Gallery cards, of course, and we did get a Beedrill. I wonder if I actually have it. I think I might have enough to finally get Beedrill off the ground. Beedrill has a really cool attack where it does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each of your Beedrill V in play. So this can just do 200 bench snipe, and that's pretty sick. But you have to have all 4 Beedrill in play, and charging that energy is really rough. But maybe in a world where Gardenia's Vigor and the new Fortress EX card, that when you blow it up, it accelerates 5 grass energy. Maybe that's the card. Maybe that's the play. I don't know. Ooh, Rainbow Adamin. This could see some more play post-rotation as Dialga V-Star needs some other ways to accelerate besides the Mew engine. And RIP Rainbow cards. I know a lot of people aren't going to miss Rainbow cards because they prefer the, you know, what they're doing now with the special art rares like this Frostmoth. But I personally will miss. I love Rainbow cards in real life. I don't know if you've had the chance to see them in real life, but the sparkle on them is amazing. Frostmoth, a go-to water energy acceleration. This is kind of being replaced by Baxcalibur going forward, which is better in some ways and worse in others. Baxcalibur lets you accelerate to the active, which Frostmoth couldn't, and Baxcalibur lets you accelerate water energy to any type of Pokemon versus Frostmoth, which only lets you accelerate to water Pokemon. However, Frostmoth is a stage 1, and it's a lot easier to set up than Baxcalibur, which is a stage 2. All right, we also have, that Trainer Gallery Phalanx, and the good Regidrago lets you draw cards up to 4 in the Regigigas deck. Very handy. Yeah, that card never really saw any play outside of Regigigas. Here we go, another Flapple. It's a different one. This saw some play in like Mewtwo V Union and stuff where you just drop a damage counter and then you shuffle it back into your deck. Just nice incremental damage. Okay. Also, Cleavor. Yeah, this one. There was a moment where YouTubers were playing this card and trying to get KOs with this Timber Cleave attack. You have to flip 2 heads, kind of like the Jirachi attack now. Yeah, theoretically it could work, but risking your life, your whole wins and losses on coin flips is really rough. We do get a Silene here. It's a great recovery card. Flip 2 coins, and then you can put cards from your discard into the top of your deck if you flip heads, you know, once or twice. One card back for each heads you flip. Okay, we also have Ursaluna, and there's a Cleavor V. There is a Cleavor V Star. There was a promo card. I never got any of those V Stars. I don't think it's worth it. I also don't think Cleavor V Star or Cleavor V is particularly good either here. Its attack's just not cutting it. Badoomch. Canceling Cologne, really handy card for shutting off abilities on your opponent's active Pokemon. I personally liked comboing this with when I was playing Palkia V-Star. You gust up a Manaphy, you play the Canceling Cologne, and then you bring in Genesect to do the bench sniping, which is very sick. Nothing good here. All right. We also get... No. Moving on. Holy cow, this video... I mean, I might edit a bit, but we're almost at 40 minutes. Sheesh. This is the bad Regieleki, but it does have some merit. If you can attack, putting a trainer card from your discard pile into your hand can be handy. And then targeted bolt, discard 2 energy, and then just do 120 to any of your opponent's Pokemon. So 120 bench snipe is not bad at all. All right, and the Rapidash, this one... Oh, no, this is not the good one. Okay, we also get a Memswine and a Braviary. No. We're gonna fly through anything that doesn't have anything noteworthy here. Gapejaw Bog is a staple of Hisuian Zoroark, and I guess Ting Lu is probably gonna use that as well to get damage on the board and shut off opponents' abilities. How about this No. Energy Lotto's a card I thought we would see more of. Just being able to search out special energy. I know there are decks where like you're trying to find that special energy and you can't draw into it, but never really saw a lot of play. At best, like a one-of in Regigigas. Ooh, Dialga V-Star. This is actually a good one for me because up until now I've only had 2 Dialga V-Stars, and no, I had a third one from a promo pack, but now we got a full 4/4 set for whatever that's worth. Star Chronos for 4 metal and a colorless does 220 damage, and you get to take another turn. Being able to take 2 turns at once is absolutely crazy, and it looks like there are going to be ways of playing this card post-rotation, which makes me very excited. Okay, let's go crack open some Lost Origin here. The second last set. This is probably my all-time favorite Sword and Shield era set. I love all the Lost Zone stuff. And Gudra's in here, like it just had so much good stuff. This Gudra deck where it lets you prevent damage to each of your basic Pokemon that have any metal energy attached to them from Pokemon. It's very specific, it's very clunky, but very annoying to fight against. Oftentimes paired with Zacian V. All right, we also get a Pidgeot V. This is like a one-of in control decks where its ability Vanishing Wings. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's on your bench, you may shuffle it and attach all attached cards into your deck. Just a way of preventing yourself from decking out. Okay, we also have Machamp with the Crisis Muscles. Not really, it has a really tantalizing ability where if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards, it gets 150 HP, and then for 2 fighting, it does 100 damage, or you can do 200 damage and then can't attack the next turn. Stage 2 Pokemon, really hard to set up. In an era of Mew, this would just get eaten alive. Not worth it. Okay, we also have, Lost City, a go-to stadium to just banish cards. Ooh! Gold Zoroark V Star. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. I don't think this card ever fully lived up to the expectations, but it is a card that can absolutely beat some of the big decks. Thanks to its ticking curse attack, does 50 damage for each of your Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. It can absolutely accelerate in a hurry to do 300 plus damage. It can also just brick really hard and then you can't attack at all. So it is a very high risk, high reward deck, but I love having the gold card. Definitely when we get back to Zoroark, I will slot that into my Zoroark deck. Yeah, talking about migration. I know that live is going to be the place. I'm still kind of holding out hope. And we got another Zoroark. We have a bunch of these now. I'm going to have to... I'll probably trade a Zoroark and see what we can get on the open market. I'm going to have to look through all my cards and see what I can trade for. I know the trade values aren't great. But we'll see what we can get. Even if I'm not trading for packs, I can trade them for other Pokemon. Yeah, I kind of want to keep my cards in PTCGO until we're forced to. Like, part of me is, like, I don't want to be in a position where they're like, just kidding, we're actually going back to PTCGO, but if you move to live, too bad, your cards are stuck there. Highly unlikely. Ooh, we do get a Gudra V-Star here. Love to see that because, yeah, it's got an amazing move, Rolling Iron, do 200 damage, and you take 80 less damage. Or you can use its V-Star ability to heal. You can go back through the videos. I said it. I said Lost Zone Gudra was the better way to play. And at the time, Arceus Gudra was the more popular version of the deck. And now the Lost Zone version is the way to go. I feel vindicated in that. Just a little thing. One of the few times where I actually made the right call. We did get another Machamp, but nothing else noteworthy here. Here we go. What do we got? We also get the Spectrier and a Magnezone V-Star. This could be a card going forward with the Miraidon deck, being able to attack for 180 and get 2 item cards of your choice. You get the electricity generators and just pop off and accelerate a whole bunch of energy. That could be a viable combo going forward. And, oh no. Okay. Some more Mirage Gates. I mean, these are amazing. I have 14 of those. I don't need any more. Okay. What else do we have here? Nope. Pyroar, no. Okay, we also have, yep, Cramorant, go-to card in Lost Zone decks, where if you can just attack for free if you got 4 cards in the Lost Zone. I think, yeah, I'm gonna have to go through all my stuff and see what I can trade for Manectric and another Magnezone. Now I've got too many of these. And I'm gonna have to flip some of these around so we can get some value back out of them. All right, we also get a Roserade and a Volo. I thought this card was going to get more play. Discard one of your bench Pokemon V and all attached cards. So just kind of a way of getting rid of stuff like Crobat or Lumineon. I thought it would see more play, but it hasn't really. I still think it's an okay card, but I guess it's just not good enough relative to what you could also be doing with that supporter card instead. And Malamar. Yeah, Lost Origin might be the Urshifu. It might be the best set that we got. Like 2 Gudra V-Star plus a Gold Zoroark plus a regular Zoroark. That's a pretty good haul. And now we got Silver Tempest. I'm hoping for Lugia's here. Even though Lugia is not going to be the powerhouse. Not quite the powerhouse post-rotation as it was in the current meta. It is still going to be a strong deck going forward. And probably will only get better. Ooh, Serena, great card. And we got a Lugia V. All right. That's good, because, yeah, we're probably going to have to flip that one of those Lugia Vs to get some extra stuff there. Lugia V, really the conduit to Lugia V-Star, so not really too much to talk about on the V itself. But, yeah, good. And a Ho-Oh V, of which now I have too many of these. The Reviving Flame ability, you can attach energy to it from when you discard the card, then with the ability, you can then put it on the bench and attach up to 4 basic energy. And you want to make it like a rainbow of energy, because this does 100 damage plus 30 more damage for each type of basic energy attached to this Pokemon. So it can be more than 4. 4 different types will get you to 220. But you can go even higher if you attach even more types of energy. All right, let's go. So Lugia V's good. What else do we got? Also a nope. Don't need that. All right, Relicanth and an Incineroar. Nope, nothing really of note here. Okay, this is gonna be the very last. Ooh, another full art Alolan Vulpix V. We did do a Alolan Vulpix V-Star video. I think it has its uses. I don't think I would build in a deck entirely around Alolan Vulpix though. I think I like it as a 1/1 tech in other decks, but that's about it. Okay. What else do we have here? The Trainer Gallery Melodic and a Frostlass. Or that's Candace. Yep, getting down to it here. Getting down to it with another Frostlass. Ugh. Not really much use for that card in the current meta. Oh, I picked... Oh, okay. Archeops is good. Archeops is good. Radiant Serena. We have too many of way too many of these. Archeops, of course, is the go-to energy acceleration for Lugia. Absolutely busted card. And will be a staple of competitive play for... I'm going to guess for as long as Lugia and Archeops are around. It's gonna be a factor. It's just too good. All right. How about a... I mean, this Gardevoir is not bad with the refinement ability. Gardevoir is going to be a factor post-rotation, but not that particular Gardevoir. It is not a bad card, though. Okay, Braviary. Nope, 2. We got 3 more packs. And then that's going to be it. That's going to be it for me opening packs. Like the last pack opening video in PTCGO. And quite possibly the last one ever... Because PTCG Live has the credit system when you're just unlocking cards, and then opening packs isn't really a thing in PTCG Live, and you can't hoard your packs in PTCG Live like you do in PTCGO, so you can't even make that into content. And then the pack opening experience in PTCG Live is horrible. So here we go. Last card ever. Oof. Well, that is the last of the Pokemon PTCGO pack openings that I will do. We're gonna move into live. The experience is gonna be different. Probably not opening packs there just because of how the game works, but opening packs is a lot of fun. I hope they make the pack opening experience better. I know that they are. One of the big complaints about PTCG Live is that when you open a pack, it only has 5 cards in it. And there are reasons because of the weird way they've balanced the economy. They're upping that to 6, which is better than what they had before. I still personally would like to see the full suite of cards come back, but 6 is better than 5. And yeah, once again, I mean, this was really a video where I got to open some packs, but the public service announcement is make sure to use your coins and make sure to use your tickets. And I think the primary thing to do with both of these is, one, get yourself 125 packs that you don't mind losing or turning into in-game gems in PTCG Live, and then with the rest, go and open some packs. Hopefully you pull some cards that are valuable and could possibly trade for later, or get extra so that you can trade some other stuff for later. All right, that's going to do it for me in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Before we go, some quick plugs. You can find me on all the things: YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at In3rdPerson. You can find me on Twitch at In3rdPerson, where I stream the Pokemon trading card game every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And check out the website, in3rdperson.com, for more articles and videos on video games, board games, and other nerdy pursuits. So, until... I was going to say the next one, but there isn't going to be a next pack opening video. Until the next video we make, I will see you later. Bye-bye. Where is my outro script? I need to map it to the stream deck at some point. Later.